What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Coleus Aurelia here, back again with another Destiny 2 YouTube video, and today we're actually going to be talking about a topic that I didn't think I'd ever have to bring up. I mean, this is ridiculous, and I can't believe it's gotten this bad that we are having this video right now. In a recent interview, if you don't know, Luke Smith actually started talking about subclass sunsetting. You heard me, not clickbait. Luke Smith talked about subclass sunsetting and how that it just might be implemented in Destiny 2. And let me tell you, my stance right now, and probably throughout this, I was a firm believer before that sunsetting could work. And sunsetting could work with the right tools. I mean, it could have been something good. It was justifiable. They did it bad, clearly now. They cut a bunch of our content, and now they're thinking about cutting our subclasses. And oh my god, it's like they're trying to screw over their game. And as someone who really cares about this game, I don't want to see them fucking throw that shit away. Like, it's unbelievable that we're going to be talking about this right now. I'm going to bring up the article, I'm going to read some key points to it, and I'd love for you guys to just put down your thoughts. Alright, because first time I saw this, I was actually streaming. You know, I stream on YouTube here if you want to tune in. But you can see my live reactions when I stream. I really was baffled that this was even an idea. Now, I have the article pulled up. Exactly at the beginning, Luke starts talking about, oh yeah, we're gonna have new fragments and stuff for a stasis, which is good and all. But then he started going on about the other subclasses, and as you can see in the article, he said, you know, all the supers use the same system, that sounds awesome, but also the supers that we can have in the game would be an edited list. And he's talking about his little fantasy land. It would be something that's edited towards more identity than what we have today. Smith explains that the classes are kind of homogeneous. He then notes that revisiting the super system for these classes could provide a chance to hone them. Now, that doesn't sound so bad, alright? He's just talking about, you know, editing the new classes. And from there, I'm like, yeah, go ahead. If you're gonna make the classes more like, say, I don't know, the stasis ones, that's cool. Alright, that's totally cool with me. That's not what I'm bitching about. What I'm bitching about is how he wants to hone them, and we're gonna get into that. So after discussing the shit about honing stuff, he goes in a bit more detail of what he means about compressing the subclasses, meaning like adding fragment aspects for other classes and stuff, which, you know, I think is a good idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. I'm all for more customization. But where he lost me is when he started talking about removing things. He said, as a direct quote, it's much easier for me to look at Nova Bomb and say Nova Bomb is IP defining. It's an IP defining super, so get rid of Nova Warp. That's the problem. That's the whole problem. You can't do that. You can't just look into a subclass and just decide to remove one. You're gonna piss people off either way. There's no objective way either to go about choosing which one stays. Okay, you can't just go in there and be like, oh, I don't know, I don't want Nova Warp. Nova Warp's more PvP oriented, so fuck it. Fuck the PvP community, fuck them. It's a huge middle finger, and it's stupid that you even think about that. I mean, we already have so little content as is with the sunsetting. And sunsetting's at least somewhat defendable. People aren't going to put down the weapons, but nobody asked for this. This isn't a problem. Luke Smith is just kind of, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. I don't understand why they're doing this. No, I don't want the man to be fired. I mean, he's entitled to his own opinion, but this is going to ruin the game for a lot of people. This is literally going to take content, something that we need in this game. It's going to take more of it. And that's why I think it's a bad idea. But we're going to continue in the article and see what else he has to say about this. Luke Smith then goes on to say in the article, within Solar Warlocks, there's two really distinct fantasies that don't work together at all, said Luke Smith. Currently, Solar Warlocks can drop a well of Radiance at their feet, which heals allies and buffs their damage, but a different tree of Solar Warlock lets the class fly around the sky, raining hellfire down from a flaming sword. Same subclass, different trees, very different use case, and unlike Nova Orcos Nova Bomb, both have an identity worth preserving. In order to transition Solar Warlock to the modular stasis system, Bungie would need to pick one of these playstyles to align the identity of the subclass. And I'm gonna stop reading that right there. What they are talking about is picking between two iconic supers and seeing which one they'd like. And knowing what they're doing, because what Luke was doing with Nova Warp and stuff, he was gauging based off of PvE. He was like, oh, Nova Warp doesn't have much utility in PvE, so hey, let's just chop it in case of Nova Bomb. If they're doing it by that, the Dawn Blades were on Warlock, which by the way, Warlock already has enough shitty subclasses in my opinion. So they don't need more supers cut. They don't need to cut more and make them worse, dude. In PvP you can only use Dawn Blade and they're talking about removing that. Are they crazy? I mean, I don't understand. I really am lost for words. That Luke would have this view. I don't agree with it, and I understand where he's coming from to make classes better, make them more like stasis, but they don't necessarily need to remove a super. They could just have two separate, they could have two separate trees for solar. It just seems kind of lazy not doing it. I mean, it's so Bungie has less work to do. That doesn't sit right with me. I mean, they're going to be removing supers that people have been playing with for years and trying to just get good with for years. And it's not like you're able to go back to them like with weapons. You can't go back to a cut subclass. You can go back to your spare rations. Alright, they're talking about permanently removing them from the game. And that is an awful idea. That is gonna be so bad for the game and not gonna help anyone. Not even, it might make the workload a little bit less for Bungie, but that's at the cost of the game and people having fun at the game. Their justification for this is creating something called class jealousy, you see. They want to make it so you look at the hunter and you're like, oh, look at them, golden gun. We don't have that. I want to do that. And like, okay, I get that. I really do understand where he's coming from with that. They want each class to feel unique, and I think that's great. That is a good concept. But not like this. That's not how you do it. Okay? Not to mention that they're talking about completely removing them and not replacing them with something new. Removing them. Cutting it. And that's where I have a problem. You can't just keep cutting things, Bungie. You don't have things to replace them with. And it's outrageous to even think that. I mean, I really don't know where they're going with this, or where it's gonna end. You can't do that. Not to mention there's rumors of exotic sunsetting right now. They're setting themselves up for failure. They're not gonna be able to reach this, they're not gonna be able to supply the demand for weapons and for subclasses, and the game's gonna implode on them. I love this game. I love this franchise, and I don't want to see it die like that. I don't want to see them cut things out or make things just easier for themselves, but at the cost of the fun of the game. It's stupid. In my opinion, it is stupid, and I think they're shooting themselves in the foot. That's my opinion on this. I'm going to leave a link to the full article down below in the description, because I don't want to be accused of taking things out of context. That's how I interpreted things. You can go to the article and form your own opinion on the situation. But that's all I have for you. Leave in the comments what you feel about subclass sunsetting. And, you know, have a discussion. Really think about it, because maybe there's something I'm missing. But other than that, I'm Khalil with Aurelio. and I hope you have an excellent day.